We are still holding on to dry conditions across mid-Michigan this afternoon. Satellite and radar showing in addition to the dry weather, cloud cover also beginning to increase across the area. Temperatures slightly warmer compared to where we were this morning, currently at 32 degrees in Lansing and Mason, 33 our current temperature in Jackson, and we're right at the 30-degree mark over in Ionia. We'll continue to warm up just a few more degrees as we go throughout the next few hours with highs in the upper 30s. We have warmer temperatures on the way for the 6-day forecast, but also the potential for accumulating snow. 6 News at Noon starts right now.
WMNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at Noon.
The United States and China both vowing to ratchet up the trade war if necessary. It's our top story at noon. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Megan Vaselli. President Donald Trump now says he'll put an additional 50% tax on goods coming from China if the country doesn't withdraw its 34% tariff on American goods. But as Natalie Brand reports, Beijing responded overnight saying it will, quote, fight to the end.
President Trump says he's waiting for China's call. On social media this morning, he wrote China wants to make a deal badly, but they don't know how to get it started. Comes after his threat Monday to ratchet up tariffs on China by an additional 50% unless Beijing withdraws threats of a retaliatory tariff against the U.S.
I have a great relationship with President Xi. I hope it's going to stay that way. I have great respect for China, but they can't do this with just... We're going to have one shot at this.
China said overnight pressure and threats are not the right way to make a deal, adding if the U.S. insists on engaging in a tariff and trade war, China will fight to the end.
My message is negotiate this as quickly as possible.
Bob Hemisoth is a fifth-generation corn and hog farmer in Iowa.
How important is China to you?
Well, China's always been a good trade partner for agriculture. My concern, wondering if that market's going to continue to stay there. Whenever we get in these kind of situations, these trade wars, as we saw in the last one in 2018, China looks elsewhere for those products.
The Trump administration has said it's open to negotiating. The president's trade representative is on Capitol Hill trying to ease concerns from lawmakers of both parties.
When tariffs are used, we all know agriculture is usually the first place of retaliation.
Trade Representative Jamison Greer says the new tariffs are already bearing fruit.
Nearly 50 countries have approached me personally to discuss the president's new policy and explore how to achieve reciprocity.
Zimbabwe has also said it would scrap tariffs on U.S. goods, and the EU has said it will eliminate tariffs on industrial goods and cars if the United States does the same. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
U.S. News and World Report recognized 4 of Michigan State University's graduate programs as first in the nation in its 2025-26 rankings. This includes 2 programs given the top spot for more than 30 years. MSU's College of Education continues to maintain its array of highly ranked programs, including elementary and secondary education, both consistently ranked #1 in the nation since 1995. 9 of the college's 10 programs are in the top 10 nationwide. These include educational administration and higher education administration. Rehabilitation counseling ranks 2nd, curriculum and instruction ranks 3rd, and educational psychology ranks 4th. Meanwhile, education policy comes in 6th and special education in 9th. For a link to all the rankings, head to WLNS.com. A young man is in critical condition today after a motorcycle crash in South Lansing. Police say it happened around 3:30 Sunday afternoon on South MLK near Cooper Avenue. Officers arrived to find the 22-year-old driver of the motorcycle lying in the road. It's not clear yet what caused the crash, but police say the driver was taken to the hospital where he's said to be in critical condition. In the Dominican Republic, at least 18 people died and more than 120 were hurt when a roof collapsed at a nightclub. It happened early this morning in the capital of Santo Domingo. Crews continue to search for potential survivors, saying it's possible many people are still alive underneath the rubble. Meanwhile, it's not clear yet what caused the roof to collapse in the first place. Back in mid-Michigan, city leaders want to hear from the people who live and work in Lansing about a recent study on homelessness. The Lansing Human Relations and Community Services Department commissioned the study, which Public Policy Associates conducted. So this evening, they're holding a discussion on the study's outcomes and recommendations and are asking for community feedback. The forum runs from 5:30 to 8 in room 213 of the Foster Community Center. The U.S. Supreme Court just issued a major decision on President Trump's immigration policies. The High Court says the administration can resume deportations using the Wartime Alien Enemies Act. However, the justices did impose limits, ruling that the administration must offer some due process to allow these detainees to challenge the allegations that they're gang members. Scott McFarland is here for you with what exactly this ruling means.
And last night, in a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court justices stopped a lower court's order that was blocking the Trump administration from deporting migrants to El Salvador under the Alien Enemies Act. The court says the administration can resume the deportations using the Wartime Act, which hadn't previously been used since internment in World War II. But the High Court did impose limits, saying the administration will have to begin offering some due process to allow these detainees to challenge the allegations that they're gang members, which could take the teeth out of using the Alien Enemies Act, which allowed the administration to expedite the deportations. Writing the lead dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said the court's ruling was giving the government, quote, extraordinary relief, and added the court should not reward the government's efforts to erode the rule of law. The Trump administration's response to the ruling, they called it a great day for justice in America and vowed more deportations are coming. Scott McFarland, CBS News, Washington.
Days of unrelenting downpours have swelled rivers to near record levels in Kentucky. People there now are closely monitoring the waterways for signs of cresting or receding, hoping widespread cleanup can start soon. However, temperatures there are dipping below freezing, which could complicate the process even more. The National Weather Service issued freeze warnings for western Kentucky, along with parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Missouri. Swollen rivers are posing just the latest threat from these persistent storms that have killed at least 23 people since last week, dousing the region with heavy rain and even spawning destructive tornadoes.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have quiet and cool conditions across mid-Michigan this afternoon. We did have a couple of isolated snow flurries trying to develop across mid-Michigan earlier this morning. That activity has since decreased, but notice on satellite and radar that we do have some lake effect cloud cover that is beginning to filter in. That'll stay pretty consistent as we go throughout the rest of the day, helping us to bounce in between partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Our cloud cover will briefly decrease overnight tonight. It returns as we move into the start of our Wednesday, and then by Wednesday afternoon, our next area of low pressure begins to develop. It'll start to move in right around 5-6 o'clock and starting out as a rain and snow mix, with our temperatures by then generally sitting in the upper 30s. Notice as we move into Wednesday night, our temperatures start to fall a little bit closer to that freezing mark, supporting widespread snow across the region. That'll continue until early Thursday morning for areas north of I-94. Notice south of that boundary, this particular model does have us warming slightly above the freezing mark, which would help to just slightly limit expected snowfall totals in those locations. The good news is this system is incredibly quick moving. We will begin to dry things out by Thursday afternoon. And in total, it looks like at its very most, this system will be producing anywhere between 1 and 1.5 inches of wet, slushy snow across the area. The good news is anything that does accumulate will not be sticking around for long. During the day on Thursday, high temperatures well above the freezing mark in the low 40s, so a considerable amount of melting will take place. And of course, our temperatures are going to gradually warm for Friday, Saturday, eventually topping out above average finally as we move into our Sunday. High temperatures in the low 60s. It's going to feel absolutely amazing by then, with plenty of sunshine also in the forecast. Outside right now, we have mostly cloudy conditions in place. Temperatures right at the freezing mark in Lansing. Winds, however, are slightly breezy, 15 miles per hour, dropping our wind chill temperatures down into the low 20s. We have a blanket of cloud cover in place in Grand Ledge. Wind chill temperatures currently at 25 degrees with that peak wind gust of 21 miles per hour. Very similar situation in Jackson, currently sitting at 33, but feeling like we are in the mid-20s. And a lot more sunshine this afternoon over in Hillsdale, currently at 33 degrees. Winds currently out of the west-southwest at 12 miles per hour. We will continue to warm up to a high in the upper 30s across the area today, and our 6-day forecast going to show that gradual warming trend will continue as we move throughout the rest of the work week, even despite the chance for rain and snow moving into the forecast Wednesday evening and that widespread snow Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Best news in the forecast is going to arrive just in time for Friday and the start of the weekend. Temperatures in the upper 40s, sunshine going to return this upcoming weekend, looking incredibly nice, 50s and 60s. Lots of sunshine to go around.
We are definitely looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully it'll make up for the snow that we have coming.
Yes. All right, Kendall, thank you.